What's going on, world? It's a beautiful day to be beautiful. It's a great day to be great. Today, we're at Pinewood Studios. So, as you see right now, we're setting up. Look at the big space. Look at where we're at. This right here is, ladies and gentlemen, is a dream come true.
My name is Dwayne Holness. My story started in Kingston, Jamaica, and then continued to Canada, where my mom decided to move for a better life when I was 5. I grew up in Gin and Finch, and in that area, there were incredible stories to tell. And that's why I decided to pick up a camera. I decided to start documenting everything that was going on around me. Not only did I capture amazing moments over the last 12 years, I also met so many more inspiring people that pushed me to dream bigger. There was one individual who completely changed my perspective on life. And I'd love to share her story with you, Hodan Nalayeh.
You are watching Integration TV on YouTube, the very first English television show for Somalis around the world, where we connect and inspire everyday Somalis to come together and share their narratives.
So I met Hodan when I was working with the first African network in Canada. And I'll never forget the moment where she walked in and she wanted to pitch her show. After that meeting, she walked by the room and she stopped and she looked at me and she said, "I've heard about you." She told me she would love to work with me. So it connected with me that Hodan was on the same mission. And that mission was to just add beauty to the world. Hodan was born in the city of Las Anodes, Somalia. But because of the rising tension in the country in the 80s, her and her family were forced to flee, eventually settling in Edmonton, Alberta.
We lived a pretty good life in Somalia. People lived a really comfortable life, and then the war breaks out and people have to be scattered around the world. Our parents, when they arrived in Canada, they were devastated because they always talk about the good old days of living in Mogadishu or the great country they come from.
Being in a new environment, this gave her the opportunity to discover a whole new world for herself. And she believed that if she was able to stay focused on her path, she would be able to live the Canadian dream and do everything that she always wanted to do.
So I did all the right things in life. What does that mean? Okay, so I graduated from university, got a good job, got married, had kids, 2 boys. The plan was going great.
But then things started to fall apart for Hodan. She got divorced and she struggled as a single mom of 2 boys. So she came to Toronto to a large Somali community. And what she saw was hard. A lot of hopeless young men, desperate moms. But this didn't stop Hodan. This inspired her. She decided she wanted to do something to change this story.
My passion, first of all, to inspire this change brought me to media. So as a mother of 2 boys under the age of 4, I went back to school. First of all, I was the oldest in my class. I wasn't the youngest, okay? I was probably I would say the most overweight because I just had a baby at that time. So I didn't fit the model of what a broadcaster would be, right?
She really had to reflect on who she was and what she was doing, and then forge a new identity for herself.
I remember waking up 4 a.m. every day, getting the kids prepared, getting them off to school so I can go to school. But you know what? Those things are not anything exceptional. Women around the world do these things every day. But you know what's exceptional? Is making a commitment to our dreams so that we can live bigger lives than ourselves.
Hodan decided she wanted to report not what was going wrong in the Somali community, but highlight what was going right.
She just found that when she was sort of looking for those opportunities with the traditional networks, the stories that she wanted to tell and share, there weren't too many doors that were opening for her from the things that she was passionate about, and she really wanted to be true to herself.
Whenever you pitch stories to mainstream television, it's always about, well, this is catered to all Canadians. So part of me is always like, why does everything have to cater to everyone? Why can't we share different, diverse stories that other people might be interested in? If you're always feeding the audience the same content, how could they know what's different?
I think she did find a lot of doors did not open for her at all, for various reasons, I'm sure. The obvious one often is racism. Oh, someone's going to tell us stories about Somalis in this particular light. Well, who's going to watch that? What is that going to sell? How are we going to market that?
Do you know how many people told me I couldn't get this television show on air? Who do you think you are? You think you're going to make it? How could this Somali woman who wears a hijab, who doesn't look anything like me, have more knowledge than me? They couldn't comprehend that, and they couldn't see the vision. And I was like, this kills dreams.
She was a woman of confidence, of vision, and there was no way that she was gonna fail. Hodan was ready to do whatever it would take to make her vision and her dreams come true. So she decided to produce Integration TV herself and put it on YouTube. And from there, it grew to be an online sensation.
Welcome to Integration TV. Welcome back to Integration. I'm Hodan Nalayeh.
We are live on location today in my hometown of Toronto, Canada.
From Edmonton, Alberta.
So join me right now. The 2015 Muslim Fest live from Woodbine Mall, Fantasy Fair.
Every week we bring you stories that inspire, empower, and enlighten our community.
She generated thousands and thousands of subscribers, and there were millions of views online. Hodan shared a perspective on Somalia that has never been seen before.
It's amazing that I get to be around my community and the largest Somali community in Canada.
Integration TV, to many of you, might be just this YouTube channel, but it's actually my passion and my dream. If one single person came to this channel and millions did not, I would still do it. If no one came, I would still do it because it gives me contribution from my own life and my society.
You're taller than I thought.
It's the heels, don't let them fool you. I say the more joy we bring kids of Somali heritage, the more beautiful community we have.
Woo! So we're here, look at Somali Street.
Integration TV is Hodan's life work. Integration TV is everything Hodan represented. And when she created Integration TV, she saw it as a platform, an opportunity to tell stories about identity, about culture.
I didn't see diverse stories about the Somali-Canadian community, and that's why we started this television to showcase what the Somali community is about, the success they've had, the contributions they've made to Canada, not what is just being reported in the mainstream media. Platforms that are created online are creating more communities than television could ever do. But when we're doing online television for my YouTube channel, which we're getting like 3.7 million views, I mean, to me, it shows you that people are hungry for things that connect them to like-minded people. They want to connect to their stories.
The stories were so inspiring. She interviewed people who were trying to build a better world, and hearing them kept me driven. And that created the bond between us that felt unbreakable. I just knew, wherever she was going, that it was in the right direction.
No one has really taken on the challenge to learn about what women went through as refugees. There is a shortage of foster parents from Somali and Muslim communities in Canada. When you come from a society that all that you've been told is the bad about it, Somalis are not just one kind of people. We have a lot of successful entrepreneurs, we have a lot of business owners, we have a lot of accomplished young people, and I think the media doesn't show that. Our lives are just as valid as anybody else.
After Integration TV had broken ground here in Canada, Hodan, being the dreamer that she is, wanted to take it further. It was about 2016 when she asked me if I would take a trip to Somalia with her. At first, I didn't think she was serious. I had to think about it. But then I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to step outside of my comfort zone. So I went with her to Somalia, to Africa.
Oh my God, I'm going home. I can't believe it. I'm gonna go see where I was born. Guys, it's been an amazing journey. History in the making. LA, baby. We're coming back. Los Angeles? No, Las Anos. See ya.
Here we go.
When I was traveling with Hodan, I saw a whole different side of Africa that I loved. You know, she showed me what Africa was really about.
Look, Snapchatters, we're live around the world. This is Hodan 725. It means cat. How you doing? This is like the ganja of Jamaica, okay?
A lot of people see Africa as a place that is poor, that doesn't have the resources they need. But there was no one shining the light on the positives that happen in Somalia. And that's what Hodan was doing.
My purpose for being with Hodan in Somalia was to help tell her story. Tell the story of these brave entrepreneurs coming back to Somalia to rebuild. She believed that Somalia would get back into the state that it was prior to the Civil War.
I just arrived in the first university that was established here. Can you believe it? In 2009, unbelievable. And the man who made it happen will meet us right now, as I'm excited to meet heroes that come back to Somalia and change the game and the minds of young people. Welcome! Oh, he doesn't shake hands, guys. Just kidding. Alaikum salam. This is like a dream that continues. You know, I love media and I love the videos that you guys do online. That's why I was impressed with the young people that you have working here. It's amazing that you have all these different faculties from all over Africa coming here. And they're teaching in Las Anos.
Yes.
She believed that there were people that were coming back to rebuild the entire country. There was hope. I believed that there was hope as well. And we continue to just tell these stories of people who were doing just extraordinary things.
I remember one day, Hodan and I took a 10-hour drive on one road to get to her homeland, Las Anos. This was her first time going back after 25 years. When we arrived, Hodan's face lit up. She was so excited to come back to where she was born.
It's hard to believe that I left this place when I was 4 years old and to come back now and kind of reconnect with my roots. I'm so excited.
Hello, boys.
Hi! Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Come on, Mom.
Alhamdulillah.
Hello.
Welcome, your mom.
هاي السلام عليكم. تعالي هذا هو الرقمي. ما كان راجع حبيبتي. أبتي هاي شكو وين منو هسه؟ وقرأتكي في Las Anos. Integration TV, hanging out with my family live from Las Anos. So we just drove straight to Las Anos Hospital. This is where I was born. And this woman who's been here since 1984 as a nurse, Halima Hassan, is gonna take us around and she's gonna show us. Assalamu alaikum. Wow. This is where I was born. Hiya. So this is the original room that my mother gave birth in. And it's only Guys, I just think about myself when I gave birth and how different the hospital in the US is in Canada. It's just, look at this, three beds, okay? For hundreds of Somali women that give birth to a lot of children. It's just 3 beds. My mom, she had 12 children, and majority of them were born all over Somalia, probably just in a city like this.
To see the condition of the hospital that she was born in, it was hard. It was difficult. But Hodan looked at that and said, "This is what made me."
So if you guys notice, there's a bunch of students that are around here. A lot of the girls are studying to be nurses because it's such a needed, I guess, career here. So many women die giving birth in this area and all over Somalia, actually. So women are basically, this is like the #1 industry. We need more nurses and more doctors. You were there, my first time in Somalia. Like, it's so creepy. Like, you go back to my ancestral homeland with somebody who's not even from Somalia. And for him to see, oh my God, this is a great country. This is a cool people.
So right now, guys, I'm at Sheikh Mountain, Somalia. Such a beautiful place. I'm excited. We're going straight to the top.
Dwayne, you can film my feet going into the rocks.
Traveling with Hodan was magical. Her energy was radiant. She had a light that would not be dimmed for anyone.
Hey, Hassan, you want to ride with me, Mommy? Come on, you just want to ride the donkey?
Telling stories from the ground there, like what was happening, things that were occurring, things that were brand new. We did find that there was a lot more comfort. She wasn't necessarily feeling like she was an outsider. And I think that it really brought even more resolve in her telling more stories.
This is a hospital set up by the ARC in 2015 where women and children can come. So I'm going to check out some of the weighing stations and see how kids are weighed when they come and get like services. So let's go inside, come on. There we go. Like that? Okay. Move for the Asaga. Whoa, whoa. Oh, oh. Hi, Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed. Until I had them. Okay, 7.5. Okay. And these services are free for the residents?
This is free. And all malnutrition children are sent to the OTB sector. They are given food, biscuits, nutritionists.
That's amazing, wallahi.
Yeah.
So you guys are providing the health care and then taking them over to give them nutrition also. So many Somali women are dying giving birth. So
Yes.
this is a solution to educate them to be more clean delivery, to get early prenatal care. Oh, he's smiling. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Huh?
Biscuits.
I remember Hodan and I going to Tanzania, and we went to an orphanage. I've never been to an orphanage before. To see these young, innocent kids that had to be displaced because of their situations, it broke my heart.
Welcome. Karibu. Assalamu alaikum. So how old are the kids typically? They're like between what, 5 and 7?
Yeah.
Younger?
They're from 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wow.
Yeah. From other African countries, HIV/AIDS has been like a major disaster in most of society.
So majority of these kids are because their parents died of AIDS? Wow.
It can be AIDS, it can be accidents, but mostly it's AIDS.
Seeing the smiles on these kids, the sparkles in their eyes, they had so much love. I coined her as the Oprah of Somalia. Well, she was just this light. Anyone that she would encounter, you know, it could be a soldier, it could be someone just on the street, it could be a nomad. She would suddenly just connect and start to listen to their stories, and they started to share stories. Whenever I felt unsure, all I had to do was look at Hodan. She had no worries, she had no fear.
That fresh food, the people, the culture, how much we have lost. And I'm reclaiming my right now to come back home and be officially a Somali citizen.
Hodan and I traveled back and forth to Africa about 10 times before she decided she wanted to move back permanently. She had found new love and had gotten married. So she decided to move back to spend the rest of her life with her husband and her kids. And at that point, life was really starting to come together for Hodan.
When she told me, I was a little bit like, what? No, stay! I wish I could have tied her down. Of course, personally, I mean, I'm going to be a little bit selfish. You know, here's my younger sister who wants to go to Somalia where, you know, there's bombings happening, there's killings. We were quite worried about her.
You have to remember, Somalia is like this beautiful country that has all these beaches and amazing food.
But is it? Because, I mean, I've never been to Somalia. And what I see on the media is, you know, again, war.
Yes.
And you hear about the pirates.
There is just one narrative out there, and the narrative for the past 25 years has been war. There is the mother who has, you know, children that she wants to provide for, who's selling camel milk on the streets in Somalia. I mean, is her story any less valid than the guys who are bombing the cities?
Hodan was in her prime. She was getting interviews, she was on big networks, and she was breaking through as a journalist, as a host. She called me to see if I could come back to Somalia to film with her again, but I couldn't go this one time.
There was something that came over me that made me think twice. Something didn't feel right.
The number of casualties continues to climb following yesterday's attacks in Somalia's port city of Kismayo. Reports that a suicide car bomber and gunman stormed a popular hotel ahead of a political meeting.
A family friend called me and asked me, did I hear the news about Hodan? She pretty much explained to me that Hodan might have gotten hurt, but it's not confirmed. I didn't believe it, and I just messaged her, hey, are you okay? I didn't get a response.
Edmonton's Somali community is in mourning after the loss of a former resident with an inspirational voice.
Hodan Nalayeh and her husband were killed in a car bomb attack in the port city of Kismayo.
So at the time, it was a Friday, I was at work, and I received a phone call from my cousin, and she's like, well, there's a posting on Facebook that said, you know, Hodan has been killed. My heart sank. I was like, oh my God, is there possibly a truth to the Facebook posting that stated that Hodan was killed? So I literally just drove over to my mom's house and I just sat there with them and waiting for news, waiting for information to say, no, this is a prank, it's rumor, it's not true. You know, eventually we actually did receive some concrete information that, yes, she was at that hotel. Yes, there was a bombing that occurred. Yes, she was hurt. Yes, she was in a hospital and she passed away from her injuries.
That could have been me too. I was supposed to be there. I just decided to take the next opportunity. And I told her that, you know, not this one, but maybe the next one.
It's not fair. She had so much to live for. Her 2 children need her. We needed her to be here. She was, you know, recently married. She had so many things going for her. It still hurts to even, you know, speak of that day and what has happened.
But it still didn't register to me that, you know, this person doing so much great things and good in the world could have possibly left us.
But I know if Hodan was here today, she'd say to me, don't be sad, because I did what I wanted to do. You know, I did the work that I wanted to do. I visited the places that I wanted to do. You know, the life that I had, I lived it to the fullest.
The signs have already been changed, and with the ceremony tomorrow night, it will be made official. What was formerly Vaughan Secondary School will replace that of an 18th century slaveholder.
It really started with a group of women in Vaughan who felt that Vaughan Secondary did not represent the people or the young people who were attending that school.
The school's name needed to change from Vaughan Secondary School because Benjamin Vaughan had a very hateful and racist past, which I don't think should be representing a school where black students get educated and learn from.
Like, they marched during the pandemic, protested, sent emails, wrote letters. It was like, it was unheard of, honestly. There was this spark in Vaughan to say, hey, this needs to happen. It's the right thing to do. When the community consultations happened, there was this incredible vote for renaming that school after Hodan Nalayeh.
The day that they approved the name, and we're all very excited, we all, we're jumping for joy, right? Because we spent months fighting for this to be put on the school, having her name on a school for years and years to come. And that's all we wanted, to keep her relevant, to show the community what she has done for us as Canadians and Somali people.
It was just a very incredible moment, especially for her, as she lost her life in such a tragic way, but for our Canadian community to recognize her work, her passion. It was just amazing. It's probably the best word I could say, really amazing. And I'm just grateful.
This is the life! Yes, let's go, baby!
Hodan changed my life. She was a trailblazer. She died doing what she loved. And the impact she had was so powerful. I believe that there's a reason why people come into your life. And Hodan came into my life to show me that dreams come true. That if you work hard enough, anything is possible.